Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it. My name is Andrea Geiger, and I am in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm the founder of Plentyi and a Brooklyn-based business. And we're an on-demand parking service here in New York City. And I spent my career in technology, over 17 years of my career in technology and infrastructure. But so I firsthand, I know the frustration of technology itself. But what I recognize as being a New Yorker is the frustration of parking. And that was the birth of Plentyi. And the frustration of circling the blocks, wasting time looking for parking, receiving parking tickets, getting towed, getting booted, just to find a parking spot. So I understand everybody's everyday's pain points, and that's what led us to building Plentyi. So as I stated, Plentyi Connects is an on-demand parking service. And what it does, it connects drivers with available driveways and garages across the city. So you could think of Plentyi as an Airbnb for parking, but we added a community twist to that. We work with homeowners who have empty spaces, which could be a driveway or a backyard. We also work with small businesses who might have extra space. And then we also work with garages, small garages to medium-sized garages. And what we do is we help them unlock the underused spaces. And we also help vehicle owners find parking that actually fits their needs. So, and we also built in a partner perk that, such as partner with car detailing companies, EV charging stations. So, our whole motto is plenty of time, plenty of space, and plenty for everyone. So, like any startup, we've had challenges. Parking in New York is competitive and is deeply ingrained in our daily life. So, convincing garages and homeowners to trust a new platform takes time. On the driver side, education, helping people to see that they don't have to gamble for parking anymore, that they can reserve ahead of time, and also giving them options. Uh, Parking in New York in some places could be pricey, and in some areas it could be less than expensive. So we want to give our homeowners the option of, no, excuse me, our vehicle owners the options of finding parking. So it wouldn't just be focused on parking garages, but also people who have homes who are looking to generate extra revenue, and then also businesses who are not utilizing their space when the actual store is closed. So that was the whole model behind it. And to be able to, and the challenge was, yes, educating people on the benefits of Plentyi and how it can be an opportunity to earn extra revenue, also to avoid the time that it takes looking for parking and giving you the option to be more flexible with your parking and also with the pricing. So these are all real challenges. So, but we continue to move forward. We continue to keep going ahead in this area and having a level of resistance, right? And being resilient. And it's very and to be resilient in this is space is constantly getting up every day, right? And constantly reminding yourself why you're doing this. What is the purpose of this? The whole purpose of this was to create an ecosystem within the community that we help people who live in our community who are or also visiting our community and they're looking for space. They'll have multiple options to find space. And then also we have people who work in our community or also who lives in our community who have space and they're looking to generate extra revenue. This will be an opportunity for them as well. So that was all our solution. We wanted Plentyi to be a solution to a very real problem in New York City, and not only in New York City. We know that is in other major cities that they also have the same issue. And our vision is to become the go-to parking solution, not just in New York, but in other cities facing the same challenges: Chicago, Boston, DC, even international markets. I know the Philippines, I know that some areas they even struggle with parking to the point that people don't even drive their vehicles. They take public transportation. So, and then we also see Plentyi as being part of the smart city ecosystem, reducing congestion, supporting sustainability, and giving people back their time so they don't have to waste 45 minutes to an hour looking for parking. If they know exactly where they're going, they can actually look ahead of time, reserve the space in, and then when they show up, it's available for them. And on the business side, we want to build more partnerships. We want to build partnerships with EV charging companies, also local restaurants and local businesses. So imagine if you have a restaurant or a business or a medical office that you're located in a very busy area and your customers constantly complain about parking. With us, we want to be able to build a partnership with those businesses and allow you to offer parking to your customers as a perk. And then also, we'll be able to promote your business. So if you're a restaurant and you're having any type of events, we can push your events on our side, on out to our customers. And then you can also offer parking to your customers so it can be easy for them and they don't come and they won't be frustrated and rushing when they're actually coming in to receive your services. And then also event venues. If you are an event venue and if you're having any type of conference, it could be a business conference, it could be a wedding that's taking place, or it could be a networking event. We can actually provide parking and handle all the logistics surrounded around that, right? Don't, as an event organizer or a party promoter, you shouldn't have to be tied down with those areas. But us, Plentyi, who are experts in this area, we will be able to assist you in those areas to make things actually seamless for you and for your customers. So we don't want to look at Plentyi as just being a place where you get parking, right? That is not the whole idea behind it. Plentyi becomes part of a lifestyle. It's not just a parking app. Ultimately, we created our platform that will help people move easier, live better, and feel and not for parking to feel like a nightmare, right? So Plentyi is all about solving problems most city driver faces, but we do it in a way that builds community and creates new opportunities. We've launched about 9 months, so we're early, we're still early in this field, but the response we see remind us we're onto something. We get calls constantly about looking for parking. And it could be parking for in Manhattan, it could be parking for a box truck, it can be parking because there's an event happening and people are struggling looking for parking, and sometimes trying to contact the parking. If you're not from this city or you're not from that state, you're not really sure where to park, and you're coming out for an event and you're struggling, or you might be going to another part of the town, to actually go for a doctor's appointment, and you're rushing and you don't know where to find parking, right? So we've experienced those calls. So we're here to
Wow.
help. We're always listening, and if you're ever struggling with parking, we built Plentyi for you.
What an incredible journey you've been on, Andrea. Fascinating project and so innovative. It's amazing what happens when an entrepreneur sees a problem in the community, finds a solution, and turns it into a business. This is absolutely incredible. Now, I've got so many questions to ask you about your business. How has your background in cybersecurity shaped the way that you've built this platform?
Well, I I look at cybersecurity always from a risk perspective, right?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
my expertise was risk based. So always look at the impact of what we're doing and how it can affect someone, and then also the likelihood of something happening. So I think that was always the way I approach this business. Like, what is the major issue here, right? And how can we deal with that, and how can we minimize that issue? And that was the whole way that I looked at it, because I realized this in ourselves is kind of like a threat, right? This is constant. So it's like, if you have many places that you can park, the risk of you getting a parking ticket probably will be low, right? And if not only if you had multiple options, but if the pricing for it was affordable, then it actually will be low. So that's how I approached it, looking at it from a more of a risk perspective and saying,
Mm,
hey, if we have certain things in place that can minimize that risk, that minimize the risk of you getting a parking ticket, getting your
mm,
car towed. Sometimes people cars are on the street because it's out of commission and they can't move the vehicle, right? Or
mm.
the registration might be expired. They haven't had a chance to get it renewed, and you get ticketed every day, which is like $60. And it might be wrong, but I think it's around $65 in New York.
So,
So that's the way I look at it.
so parking seems like a mundane problem. How did you reframe it as a community wealth opportunity?
Because I know in New York City that things could be pricey,
Yeah.
right? Depending on what area, but majority, even in living in areas that are not the most attractive areas for people, where people might want to live or might not be close to the city, pricing for a home is has increased, right? $700,000, for areas that probably in the past would have been cheaper. They're constantly increasing. And then
Yes.
also car insurance in New York City. You could be paying $400 a month for parking, for insurance. And the younger you are, the more you have to pay for insurance, right? And
Mm,
then also depending on your neighborhood, if your neighborhood is considered a high crime neighborhood, then you're going to be paying more money as well. So, I looked at it that everybody in this community, we have an issue, right? And
mm,
we have an issue and we can come together to help each other. So if we can be able to provide parking solutions for people who actually live in the neighborhood and they can actually avoid getting ticketed, right?
Yes.
Or looking for, because parking be depending on where you live at, parking could be can be a struggle. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're willing to take a chance if you have to move, if your car has to be moved by 7 o'clock in the morning. You're willing to take a chance, and sometimes you might oversleep and your car might be gone when you wake up in the morning, right? So New Yorkers understand my struggle. They understand the New York struggle, right?
Yes.
So the whole purpose was to say, okay, if you have people who live in a community, you have businesses that's in the community, even churches in the community, and you have the space, it'd be an opportunity to provide people in the neighborhood to actually park their vehicle, and then also opportunity for business owners, for homeowners, that they can actually generate extra revenue, because even leasing a space in New York can be pricey. So if you're not generating revenue, all your money is going out, but it's not coming back, you're not seeing return. This could be a way that you can generate revenue for your business. This can
Yeah.
also help homeowners if they're looking for, 200 to 300, even, dollars a month. And, someone just called me today who lives in the Bronx, and they're looking for parking, and they're willing to pay $200 a month. Now, to someone that might not be worth the time and effort, but for somebody it might be. That $200 could be something they could put towards a bill, do groceries, do their savings.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes a big difference when you put it that way. Now, what challenges did you face breaking into a male dominated industry yet again?
Yet again.
Yeah. So you
um,
see that.
I think the challenges was resistant, like pretty much people being hesitant, because I, yes, I know the struggles of parking, but do I really not? I didn't really know too much about the parking industry. Now I
Right.
know way more about parking than I ever knew before, because every day I'm looking up information on parking. So I think that some people was hesitant to say, like, okay, you have this, woman who's coming in here who knows nothing about parking, and they want to place our parking space on their platform. And
Yes.
I've been in this parking industry for 25 years. So I think that was definitely a challenge, going into this industry, is people, some people, and I trust me, some people gave me a chance. They took a gamble on me, and some, I think, were very hesitant because of my color, probably, and then also because I was a woman. And some didn't look at that. They actually gave me a chance. So that was the biggest challenge, was the resistance.
Right. Wow. You're constantly breaking into those spaces where we don't belong as Black women. So, can you share a personal story of resilience that kept you moving forward with Plentyi?
Well, I can. I would say that there was a turn within now in my business where I had a partner, and we, are, right at this moment, it's just me running the business.
Right.
And at that particular time, it was two people, and even though it wasn't what I would envision, it was what it was at the time, right? And I appreciate everything that my partner provided at that particular moment. And there was a change of event in his life that changed the whole way that we ran our business. And um, to the point that I had to take over everything. I had to take over the funds, making sure that I continue to pay the developers, make sure that I pay all the expenses that come along with running the app. So even though we are not a brick and mortar, you still have to make sure you maintain the network, right? You have to make sure that you continue to pay your developers. I had to hire a salesperson. I had to hire marketing person. So like, and this is on my income, right? Alone. And and it was initially, it was my vision, and I just wanted to continue to move forward. And that to me was that's where to me there was a level of resiliency, because I could have just gave up. I could have just said, you know what, just leave it alone. But we put so much money and effort and time into it. And it was literally at the moment that we was about to launch. So
Okay.
we was about to launch, and change of life, like things just flipped upside down right at the moment that we was about to launch. And it's like, what do you do then? Do you continue to move forward, or do you put it on a back burner and wait? And I didn't want to wait, because might be the only opportunity. And if you wait any longer, the longer you wait, technology is constantly moving, it's constantly evolving. And I didn't want to wait, because it took us months to even get to the point that we got to. And I wanted to make sure that it continued to move forward. So waking up 7:30 in the morning, because our developers are located in a different, located in India,
Yes.
making sure that I meet with them on a weekly basis, making sure that we have any issues that people pointed out, that we make sure that we continue to work on the app, and constantly continue to make improvements with it. Listening to our hosts, who are the garage owners, telling us, what their concerns are, what their issues are. That to me, and then, sometimes I even had a parking garage owner tell me, well, you'll be probably better off doing it this way. And I telling him, like, these are all the things I could see happening, and they were resisting what my proposals. And to constantly stay there and have my business mentor tell me, maybe you should just give it up, and you should just go back to working and spend time with your sons, who are 19 and 24,
Man.
who are doing their own thing. But yeah, I should do that. um so the constant, and not seeing, like, for a while, see users sign up, not see parking garages say they're going to sign up but don't sign up, right? Or people are not booking, right? So like, and then you see all of these things are happening at one time, and you start to say, wow, is this the am I going,
The
am I going down the right direction, right? So I
Yeah.
think that was a point to me where there came the level of resiliency. Like, okay, yes, things didn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out. Yes, things are shifting, things are changing.
Yeah.
Do you get back up, or do you just stay down and say, I give up?
Oh, man. So we've got somebody chiming in online. A good friend of mine, Nigel, is in the Netherlands. Thanks for chiming in, Nigel. He said
Oh,
this is a
hi.
disruptive vision. Very nice.
Thank you.
He's also mentioned the blue ocean strategy. You remember I was telling you about the blue
Yes,
ocean today?
yes, yes.
Wonderful. Another comment from Nigel, transforming underutilized driveways, church lots. Oh, this is awesome. We here in Vienna, a new project is coming.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
exactly. Exactly, Nigel. That's how it looks.
There it is. So you are on the cutting edge of something really amazing. Thank you so much, Nigel, for chiming in from
Yeah.
he's in the Netherlands. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, question for oh no, he's in Austria. He's just corrected me.
Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you so much, Nigel. It's always good when we
Yes.
have people online who are actually listening to the podcast. So, how does Plentyi's revenue sharing model change the game for small businesses and homeowners?
So I'll start with homeowners. I believe that our business model, the way it's structured, is that you as a business, I mean, excuse me, a small homeowner, you have the flexibility to charge what you think you should charge for your space, right? So we
Yeah.
put the power back into your hands. So us, you place your space on our platform. If you feel that you want to charge $100 a month or $200 a month, or depending on where you're located at, um, you could charge up to $300 a month, right, or more. But the whole idea was for it to be affordable, right? But you as a homeowner, you do have the flexibility to charge what you think is best, for your space.
Yes.
So as me as a vehicle owner, I will come to the platform. I will actually um, I will actually look for space in that area. If I see the space that's available, I'll reserve and book the space in. I will
Yeah.
actually pay for the space. Once I pay, the homeowner will get a confirmation that booking has, along if they approve the booking, because they have the option to approve it or have an auto approve or manually approve each reservation that's sent to
Right.
them. And then once it's actually booked and the booking is ended, there's a time, a few days that after transaction that the homeowner can actually withdraw that money. They can request to get it by direct deposit, or they can actually receive a check.
Ah,
So it's really, I look at it, yes, it's like a side hustle, but it's also like a small business if you really think about it. If you really take it into consideration like that, if you wanted to do monthly, you can have your space available on a monthly basis. If you wanted to do daily, if you wanted to say, hey, I just only want people to book on a daily basis, you can do that as well. Or hourly, which I think daily would be more feasible or be more of a better option for you to actually see the revenue. But we know that some homeowners say, hey, listen, I do want to, use my space, but I don't want to do monthly, and if I do monthly, it has to be in the evening time because, or it has to be in the daytime because I'm not home. And
yes.
when I get home, I want to use my space.
Wow.
So the way that Plentyi is set up is that you have the flexibility for when you want your space to be available. So if you only
Mhm.
want your space to be available from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., then that's possible. You can actually have that flexibility built into the platform. So
Yes.
you can actually make it work for you. Whatever's feasible for you, whatever's accommodating for you, that's the way
Possible.
that we built it. And for business
Sorry, continue.
and for business owners, if you're a business owner and you're partnering with Plentyi, the way we created was a revenue sharing program. So
Yeah.
each business that partners with us. So if you have a business that's located near our parking garage, what we do is we would create a promotion code for your business. So
Mm-hmm.
just say if Nigel had a store, right, and it was maybe it was a restaurant, and
Mm-hmm.
but parking is hard in that area. You can offer that as a plus for your customers. And every
Yeah.
time they park and they use Nigel's promotion code, what would happen is they will receive a discount. Your customer will receive a discount, and then the
Mm.
and then the business owner will actually receive a percentage of that transaction. So that way that they actually receiving funds as well.
Yeah. So it's a win-win situation for everybody in the community. I love it. So why was it important for you to integrate the pay now, pay later into your offering? I mean, park now, pay later.
Yes, because everything is due at the beginning of the month, right? And
Yes.
sometimes, like if you are living in a city, you have to pay your rent or your mortgage in the beginning of the month. You have to pay your
Mhm.
insurance in the beginning of the month. You have to pay your phone bill in the beginning of the month. Everything is due at the beginning of the month. And also
Yes.
your parking is due in the beginning of the month if you're a monthly parker. So if you're
Yeah.
parking on a monthly basis, you could be paying 400 to 500. I even know some areas that pay $800 a month. So imagine, depending on your income, right, that can be pricey. But you love the ability to park, and I understand that because I love it myself. So what we do is that you as a vehicle owner, if you need to park your vehicle, but you don't have the full amount of money to pay, you can actually park now and you can pay later. It gives you the options of parking on a, paying on a bi-weekly basis. So
Okay.
that is something that we actually are put in the works right now, and hopefully we'll have that up going in the next 2 weeks or so. So that
Right.
is the whole idea about it. We wanted to make this affordable
Mm-hmm.
for customers, and we know sometimes in certain areas it's hard to get around paying that $800 a month or that $400 a month. But
That's
can
true.
can it be something that it can ease it up, that it won't be something that you have to pay all at one time? And then
Right.
sometimes people are going into an event, and then at that event they have to pay like $70 for parking. So
Yeah.
imagine if you didn't have to pay the full amount of money up front, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
can pay a portion now, and then you can pay another portion in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So, how has your MWBE certification opened doors for Plentyi that might otherwise have stayed closed? And explain to people what that certification and that acronym, what it means.
Right. So I'm a New York City MWBs, which is a minority woman business. And we've been certified for about a year now. And wow, it's been a year. And what I could say is that it opened up doors. I went to an event and I met one young lady, and she's been in a city MWBE for 18 years. And
Okay.
her and I met, and next thing I know, she met a couple of other ladies, and then we created this consortium, right? So
Right.
we meet on bi-weekly, and we think about how can we come together as one, and we can work with the city. So,
Right.
and just to just bring it back one step to just explain it, when you become a city MWBE, it gives you opportunities to actually you can actually submit bids for contracts with the city. And
Okay.
what the city has been trying to do, New York City has been trying to do, is to try to open up opportunities for Black women, for minorities as a
Right.
whole, so they can have opportunities to actually receive these contracts. Because a lot of times you have businesses that are mature, that has
Hmm.
been in the technology business for many years and has many resources, so it doesn't give the small, well, the MWBE an opportunity to actually put a bid in for that contract. So
Right.
that was the whole purpose of it. So I am certified as an MWBE, and my specialty is IT as a whole. And we
Right.
provide numerous type of services, but our core service is cybersecurity. But actually being in this field with Plentyi as a parking app, we also will be able to provide a parking solution for some of the city parking garages and the initiatives that's actually occurring, these smart city initiatives that's actually happening in New York City. So
Right.
that's what that just to kind of put that in a nutshell.
Wow.
And then how the opportunities that open up is that I got to work with these beautiful young ladies, right? And
Yes.
they're full of knowledge. They're full of their IT. They have IT background.
Yes.
One is a lawyer. Other one is in marketing, IT project management. And it was like, wow, how amazing how all of us came together, and how we can all come together and we can build, right? And we create now a consortium that we could come together and bring opportunities, not just for us, but people that come behind us, right?
Okay.
And that to me right there was a door opener. That exposed me to women that I didn't even know was in this field. At first I felt alone, because at that time it was just me. I had no, I didn't have a partner at that time to really go down this path with me.
Yeah.
And I felt like, wow, like what am I gonna do, you know? And then we met every week, you know, like we would meet and we say, and then we would look at contracts together, see what contract is out, what can we come together and we could submit a bid for this contract. What
Right.
services that you offer? What is your solution? What is that? And we came together, and that really to me was a opportunity just to be exposed and just be around women of such knowledge and such
Mm,
courage and you know just
inspiring.
yes, it was so inspiring, it really was. And we had a meeting with the chief officer of New York City, and he actually sat down with us, and he listened to our gripes and listened to the issues that we have, because yes, even though they created opportunities, some of those opportunities are not going to Black women. They're going
Yeah.
to minorities, but not to Black women. So we
Okay.
still seen a disparity within the disparity,
Oh,
right?
gosh.
So that would
Um,
say that's what opened up the doors and gave us a voice, and somebody was willing to listen, and that to me was amazing. And I hope that this, becoming an MWBE opened up opportunity for me to work with different agencies. Department of Transportation is one. Um,
wow.
that's my main one, but there's multiple ones that I'm focused on. But yeah, so I would say that it opened up opportunities of meeting new people, meeting amazing people, and making me and open and giving me the opportunity to see into an industry that I knew nothing about and didn't
Mm,
have to put alone.
I love it. We've got Nigel chiming in again from Austria. He said, I'd better start a store with a parking space to share.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat.
We might just open your next venture in Austria. So the dynamics of parking are interesting. Oh wow, it's expensive. The
Yeah.
penalties that people are paying. So Austria and London, we need to connect with you, Nigel,
Yes.
and create a partnership here.
Yeah.
So, my next question for you is, what role does culture and representation play in the way that you lead your company?
So, I always lead it from, I would say, I look at things in a very holistic view.
Hmm.
And I'm very community driven. So, and I always I want to represent everyone, right? Because
Yes.
I am a Black woman. I mean, you can't get around that. I am who I am. But
Hmm.
I know that everyone struggles with parking, right? So the
Yes.
way I approach it is very community driven, very focused on people and their struggles. So that's the approach, and I hope I'm answering your question. But this is the way I look at it, because I've come across people who call me from all walks of life, young, old, Black, white, male, female. It doesn't matter. Everybody has the struggle. Everybody feels the pain.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. So, how do you envisage scaling Plenty across New York without losing the community first spirit?
Well, that's a good question.
Mm,
um,
it's
maybe
always,
the way that I know New York is always word of mouth, right? And I
okay.
think that if you give people great service, I've helped people find parking not on my platform, but on my competitive platforms, right? Because it wasn't really about me. It was really about serving them, right? So
Right.
that goes back to the way I look at it, and that could even be based on the culture, is all about serving people, right? Giving them the best. And I think that if you give people exceptional customer service and you help them when they're struggling, I think that people will let other people know, right? So I think that's one way of doing it. And of course, social media, I think, is helpful. Reaching out and listening to people who sign up, understanding what they need, they wants are.
Yeah.
So, I just, yes, attended events and showing up. So that's still community, but that's one way to do it. But I think that to me is the way to spread Plentyi, and then also attending networking events where people who have issues with parking are located, and that could be mostly anywhere.
Yeah. True. It
So
is true.
yeah, so I think it takes a combination of different things. I don't think there's one way to spread it. I really don't. I think that people will tell you, well, social media, social media. Social media is great. Like, I would never say that, because I think you do need social media. I think you need to attend podcasts. I think you need to be going to events and speaking about your your services and your vision. I think you need to put that out there so people can really understand what you're trying to provide. And
Yeah.
that takes maybe going to, IT events, or going to, events where homeowners or real estate agents are located at. Like, this is like, you can't just, to me, take one solution and say, well, this is going to get it, and this is where I'm going to spread if I just keep pushing, contents on social media. Sometimes you have to get out and you have to speak to people. You have to go to different events. You have to go to the businesses, and
Yeah.
and then also do social media, also do Google ads, also do podcasts, also do blogs. Like, to
It's
me,
not
it's a
one thing.
combination. It's
Yeah.
a combination of different things that has to be done to really
So
spread it.
what partnerships have been the most surprising or inspiring so far?
So I have two partnerships. So the one that I have that I really would love to push, but we haven't really pushed it, but was well, I have two partnerships that I feel like I can't really like speak without one without the other, but they both was really so I will start with the EV charging station. So they contacted me, actually looking for a parking garage. They were looking for us, trying to see if we wanted to install EV charging stations in our parking garage. And
Okay.
then I was like, no, we're not a parking garage, but we provide parking services. But how about we partner up? Right? So I actually
Uh,
called them back. It was like, hey, how about we partner up? And what I can do is, if I know any of my parking garages that are looking for parkings, that needs EV charging stations installed,
Yes.
I can refer you to them. And it was like, yeah, awesome. That's great. And we'll do the same thing. If we know people are looking for parking, we can pass your information along. So I think
Oh,
that was
that's
the one that was more
wonderful.
surprising, because I kind of, went in and just went out for it myself. Like, they were calling me, and then I turned around and was like, hey, how about, and they're not located in, I mean, they have a location in New Jersey, but
Okay.
they're actually out of state. And then, I love that partnership, because I feel like we could do so much more than just installing, these EV charging stations in the parking garages. They can be also installed around New York City. So
Uh-huh.
that's something that you can, imagine having a partnership like that when the city is trying to go green in certain
Yeah.
ways, and have EV charging stations available, because there are EVs out there, but they still are struggling with the amount of charging stations for multiple reasons, right? Space, energy, money, right? So, so that was the most surprising one. And the other one is was with a company called Mint Wash, and they have a mobile car detailing business. So they actually come to you to wash your vehicle. And
Right.
and I actually just went to them because I needed to have my car clean. And
Okay.
I just needed to have my car clean because I'm like that type of person. Like if I could get something done like in 2 hours and I don't have to do it, I will pay that extra like $100.
Yes.
Right. But that was how it was before. Right now we're on a budget. But so
Oh,
but anyway, yeah, so and I just constantly stayed in contact with the owner, and he's like, just keep me updated, what's going on, just keep me updated. So finally, we launched, and he said, okay, that's, I said, so he said, well, every time one of your customers use your promotion code, we're going to create a promotion code just for Plentyi. What we'll do is we'll give them a discount, we're providing with a discount. So we wanted to, that's what we wanted to make people's lives easier. And we felt that that'd be another add-on service. So if your vehicle is parked, and some garages allow it and some of them don't, but the ones that do allow it, you'll be able to get your vehicle detailed while it's parked.
yes.
So that saves you time. So and for some people, saving
Brilliant.
time is saving money. So
That is absolutely brilliant. Now, what does success look like for you in 12 months' time?
success in 12 months' time is to have served or booked uh, a million parking reservations. Like that is success to me. And not only booking, but people walking away and saying that was a great experience.
Yeah.
People really, loving our services, and people really seeing what we have to offer, seeing people, have stress, less of stress parking.
Mm, mm,
So I think that's what I want to see. Ultimately, yes, of course, we want to be successful, because if we're not successful, we're not seeing people are not booking, then you kind of question, is there really a need when
yes.
it's a need, but to really see that, what you're providing people want.
Yeah, that is just awesome. Now, what advice would you give, especially to Black women who are trying to break into an industry like yours? You've broken ground and kind of led the way. But for those women who are trying to get into tech, Black women trying to get into tech, what advice would you give?
Um, so when I started in technology about 17 years ago, well, I've been in cybersecurity for 17 years, so I have to say I've probably been in technology altogether about close to 20 years. And
Right.
I know in the beginning of the introduction was kind of rocky, and I didn't really go into details in that area, but you know, going first of all, when I started in college, it was not that many women in our classroom, right?
Yeah.
So there's more women in technology than there was back then. And I know there was women that came before me that was in technology, and they probably was the only woman in that room, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that being in this field, I've been second guessed plenty of times. I've probably been, laughed at a few times, or
Mm,
um, I might have made certain suggestions and it fell on deaf ears.
mm,
And that became discouraging for me.
right.
So I have to tell, and I had to constantly remind myself, right? And this is not about me, thinking I'm better than anybody else, but to
Yeah.
remind myself of the experience and the education and the knowledge that I actually hold. Like, you have
Yeah.
experienced so many things in your life. You have something to offer. So what I
Yeah.
want to tell Black women, going into any field that might be foreign to you, is just to continually to educate yourself,
Mhm.
continue to gain, soak up as much knowledge as you can, right? And
Yes.
and don't be afraid to mess up. Just
Mhm.
get back up, right? Don't be afraid to mess up, just get back up. and keep moving if you really want to break barriers, and you really want to go into a particular field. Continue to educate yourself, continue to be knowledgeable. Don't give up on yourself. You're going to be times that you're going to doubt yourself. It's going to be times you're going to be looking and you're going to be laying in the bed like, am I doing the right thing? Maybe this is not for me. Maybe everybody was right. Those times are going to happen. Those times are going to happen. You can't avoid those things, but those are just temporary feelings, right? And you
Yeah.
get past it, and you just keep moving, and you keep going forward, and continue to gain confidence in yourself. And people are going to make comments about you. People are going to say things about you, but you as an individual, you have to believe in yourself, because that's just life. That's just life. And you're going to probably mess up. You are. You're probably going to say something wrong. You're probably going to do something wrong, but you're human, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. You just have to remember to keep moving and keep going. Don't stay still. And if
Yeah.
you look at all the progress you made in any field that you're doing, if you're reading a newsletter, if you're reading something about what industry you're getting into, if you're going to events, right? If you're speaking to people, even in the industry, even if you can just, like me, I'll go to the parking garage and I talk to the garage owners, ask them questions, right? Like, and some will sit down and they will talk to me like, no, this is this, and they'll tell me their story. Like, be open to listen. You don't always have to talk. Listen,
Mm.
right? So I would say just
Building
keep
those relationships, right?
and building relationships, right? So
Mhm.
those are the things I would say. And me as just a woman, I mean, me as an individual, period. I mean, God was my go-to and would continue to be my go-to. So there was times that I didn't know what was going to happen the next day, and I continue to have faith. And there's times that I'm going to get spiritual here, but there was times that I asked the Holy Spirit to guide me, to tell me the right things to say.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised, even in your business, you can ask God to help you. You can ask, He will
Mhm.
answer. If you are a woman if you're a woman who is a believer and believe in Jesus Christ, you know, invite the Holy Spirit to talk to you and to guide you and give you discernment, and give you knowledge, wisdom, and to discipline you as well. So
Mhm.
I don't. Some people say you can separate the two, but I don't believe you can.
It's all one and the same thing.
Me, yeah. So that's what I would say. Don't give up.
I love it. I love it.
And if I could just add, Gertrude, that it might not go the way you wanted to go. Maybe the
Mhm.
business might not pan out the way you thought it was. Maybe it won't come to a level of success. But think about all the things that you've learned along the way, and all of the relationships you build, all of the knowledge that you gain, and then or even the field that you're going into. Maybe you say, I tried it and it doesn't work, but all of those things you take and you use it for your next step. And be surprised that even though this didn't work, it can open up doors to other things
Else. Yeah.
that
That's what
might take you somewhere else. And that's okay too.
I love it. Well, listen, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today and sharing you with our community. We're constantly looking for innovative women who do things that are outside the box. You certainly are doing something outside the box here. And I wish you luck with this business venture.
Thank you.
You
Thank
just
you,
need to know
Gage.
that Plentyi exists, and they will be right behind you, signing up, looking for those parking spaces, and offering the parking garages as well. So good
Yes.
luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Gage. I really appreciate you giving me the time to talk about it. Appreciate
It's
it.
an absolute pleasure. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are somebody who is living in New York and you need parking, please go onto Plentyi's website. It's plentyi.ai. Am I correct?
It's Plentyi, Plentyi.com.
Excellent. And I will be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.